Welcome into WCSN on basketball. Looking ahead to this week's series, talking about the Sun Devils getting a chance up in the Rocky Mountains to maybe roll in the direction of the national tournament. We're going to start with tonight's game against Utah. My name is Cuyler Meade, joined by Webeck, Cammeron Neely. Let's start looking at the big men. Jason Washburn had an excellent game last time out against the Sun Devils. Wyshynski's been struggling. What's it going to come down to this time?
You're right. Washburn had 19 points and 18 rebounds last out against Jordan and the ASU Sun Devils. However, Jordan's coming off a very disappointing weekend against Stanford and Cal. We only had 25 combined minutes against the two teams. Jordan, however, has been very responsive in games where he has played poorly. For example, against when Eric Jacobson had 16 points in 20 minutes earlier in the year, Wyshynski comes out and has the first triple-double in ASU basketball history. Also, when Ruslan Pativ had a very good overtime game against USC recently, Wyshynski comes out and has 22 points the next game against UCLA. So I'm really looking for Jordan to come out and respond in this game.
I mean, definitely would be huge to get a bounce back against this Utah game, especially a bounce back for the whole team. Let's look at Jordan Leverage real quick. He's one of their top scorers, also had some good games recently. What's going to take? Probably the man Carrick Felix is going to be guarding. What's going to take for the Sun Devils to come out on top on that matchup?
Well, Carrick, I'm not very worried about Carrick, what Carrick's going to do for ASU, because he's been the leader of the team. He's carried them. He's battled through all the tough positions, and he's going to keep him and maintain him during the game.
Excellent. Let's look over at the guard play a little bit. Kind of a shakeup. It was Jared Dubois leading the way for the most part for the Utes until recently we've got a new man. Evan, tell us about that.
Yeah, we're going to have a matchup of freshmen at the point guard position between Brandon Taylor and Jaheik Carson. Taylor just took over recently at the point guard position. He's only averaging 6.1 points per game, but that's because of the lack of playing time earlier in the season. And of course, we all know what Jaheik Carson can do. He's one of the best players in the nation.
Offensively, do you expect Carson to get back to stuff? He had a little bit of a rough time out last time at home against the Rocky Mountain teams, but he's been rolling since then. Do you expect this to be a good game for him offensively?
I think that it could go either way for him personally, because he's struggled a little bit against the smaller, quicker guards, and that's really what Brandon Taylor is. He only stands 5'10", same as Jaheik Carson. But he really doesn't bring too much skill to the table, does Brandon Taylor. He was one of Utah's most heralded recruits coming into the year, but he hasn't performed up to that level.
All right, so with all the matchups in mind, going on the road, give us a little bit of a prediction real quick. What's going to be the key to the game, starting with you, Evan, and then do you think the Sun Devils come out on top?
Last time out against Utah and Colorado, Evan Gordon scored a combined 0 points against both teams. I think he's really stepped up his game since then, and he's going to be the key to a win against Utah. However, I think it's going to be a grinded-out matchup, probably somewhere in the 50s, within 10 points. It's going to be an ASU victory.
Cam, do you agree?
I also think it's going to be an ASU victory. However, I think they're going to be very determined after the loss to Stanford, and they will get the win on the day.
All right, let's look at Colorado real quick. Let's start with Andre Roberson, one of the big guys. He was limited big time against the Sun Devils last time out. At home in Colorado, what's going to be the outcome this time?
What I'm looking here is Colorado is very good at home, and ASU has to get some bench help in this game. They have not. The bench had 0 points against Stanford on Saturday night, and I'm looking for a Ruslan or Chris Colvin to come in and do a very good job for the ASU on the game.
Look at the guard play. Spencer Dinwiddie had a great game against the Sun Devils when they played in Tempe. What's going to be this time?
I personally think Spencer Dinwiddie is one of the top 3 guards in the conference behind C.J. Wilcox and Alan Crabb. I think he's going to tear up the Sun Devils. He brings so much to the table for Colorado, and the combo of him and Askia Booker is incredible. It's going to be one of the best matchups of backcourts in the Pac-12.
So let's talk about a prediction here. You said you liked the game against Utah for the Devils. Can they win 2 on the road when they desperately need it after dropping out of projections to get into the national tournament? Let's start with you, Cam. What do you think here against Colorado, one of the hardest places to play in the Pac-12?
It is hard, however. ASU will have 3 days of rest with Colorado coming off of 2 days of rest, and they will have played U of A in that game before ASU. So I'm thinking U of A will wear down Colorado just enough so that ASU will pull away in the end for the win.
Benefit of playing with a 1 seed in the same state. What do you think about you, Evan Webeck?
I cannot see a victory for the Sun Devils in Colorado. It is the toughest place to play in the Pac-12, bar none. The altitude of Boulder, Colorado, plus the insane fans for the Buffaloes will make it impossible to win there. I believe only UCLA has been the team to win in Boulder this year.
Well, time will tell. The way I kind of shake it up, Sun Devils need 5 wins in the next 7. So a sweep here would be a huge step in that direction. We'll find out coming up starting tonight. I'm Cuyler Meade, joined by Evan and Cam. Thanks for joining us here in WCSN.